Okay, let's get the comments on here. And we are loading. Okay, I am on. Confusion with the time, but that's okay. And we will start shortly thereafter 12. So once you come on, introduce yourselves, let me know that you're out there. And then we're going to do this little technique for you. Oh, I'm out of breath. I have a complete mess here that I need to clean up. I just need to spend the day organizing my office here because it is like out of control. Oh my goodness gracious. Hello there, how are you? All right, I got to do some cleaning sometime this afternoon because my office looks like a mess here. I got retired stuff I need to get listed for sale. Ay, ay, ay. Cards to make. It's just craziness, crazy, crazy. So we will give it, well, it's 2 minutes to 12, so I'm a little bit early, which is fine. I'd rather be too early than late. And my virtual assistant sent out the thing that said we were starting it in 15 minutes, which is 11:30. I'm like, no, because I'm not ready. So I'll have to, I think she got confused with our Saturday when we do our creation anticipation thing. So I'll just have to make sure she changes that for future reference. And what am I going to do with this? I don't know. Okay, I got some major cleaning to do here. So sorry I got my head to the back of you. Trying to get organized. All right. All right, so we're going to do another technique today. This is a good one. I'm waiting to see if anybody else is popping on, so we'll give it a few more minutes. It's not quite 12. Hey Karen Jo, how are you? Sorry for the confusion on the time. Hey Judy from Ohio, welcome. I started to panic when I saw that time. I was like, oh my gosh, I'm not ready. And I think Becky, my virtual assistant, got confused with when we start on Saturdays for the creation anticipation at 11:30. I think she got confused and thought and I thought, no, we're going to do this at 12 o'clock. 12 o'clock, so anyways, hopefully people will make it, which will be fine. I just thought it'd be easier during the week to do it at 12 in case somebody's working or having lunch or whatever. You could watch. So anyways, we're going to start. It's 12 o'clock, so we'll just wait a few more minutes for a couple more people to come on so that they can watch as well. And we're going to do a new technique. I don't know if y'all have tried the window technique or not. I know noon's a good time. Saturday, I thought 11:30 worked because it's a weekend and people may want to get up and go out and do stuff, so they don't want to be. And then if you're on the Midwest time, right, it's an hour behind us, Eastern. And then if you're, out in the Utah, that part of town, it's 2 hours. So then you're talking 8:30 in the morning. So I just figured, 11:30 for creation on this one, 12 o'clock makes it easier. Hi, hello from Pennsylvania. So we'll see. I'll get that straight, but that's okay. We're here. That's all that matters. And I tell you what, I got to take some time. We're getting ready to go on vacation here the middle of August we're going to Alaska. I think I might have mentioned this to y'all. We're going to do a cruise. We're going to go to Vancouver for 3 days and then catch the ship and then go on a cruise. And we went to Alaska, I think it was 2 or 3 years ago when my husband put the trip together, and we did it by land. And we took buses and trains everywhere. And it was awesome. So this time we thought we'll go with his brother and sister-in-law. And then we come home I think we're home like maybe 2 weeks. And then we go to Virginia. I think I told y'all this. For 2.5 weeks or so for a friend of mine's wedding. So I figured since we're going to be there, we're going to go like 5 days early before the wedding so I can catch up with friends. And then go after the wedding, go over to Williamsburg, Virginia, which is where his brother lives. And we'll hang out there. So anyway, so I'm trying to get stuff done now, and then of course I'm going to try to get some stuff done while we're gone. I don't have to look at the calendar. I don't know if I'll miss 1 or 2 Tuesdays. I want to try to get some recordings. I may put some old recordings I have up. We'll see. I don't think y'all will mind that. We'll see what they are. So anyways, all right, so let's see. Yeah, so I don't know what the weather is in Alaska right now, but when we went a couple years ago, oh my gosh, it stayed light until like 11:30 at night. And you don't realize it when you're sitting there and it's daylight outside. All of a sudden, your brain's going, okay, we should stay awake. And then we look at the clock and it's like 11 o'clock p.m. And we're our time, and we're thinking, no, their time, I'm sorry. And I'm thinking, we need to go to bed. We've got a neighbor, a gentleman that I met here that's near our cousin's, my studio, his apartment. He lives right here, so he's going to watch Riley for me. And the last time he watched her, I gave him a list of instructions on how to feed her and how many treats to give her. Well, he decided that he wasn't going to follow my instructions, so he doesn't eat, like sit down and eat a meal. He eats like a little bit at a time. So he was doing that with the dog. If she wanted a treat, then she'd give him a treat. Oh my gosh, it took us a good 1.5 weeks to get her back on her schedule. So I told him, I said, Ron, I know you mean well. He goes, I just love her. And I said, well, that's fine, but please keep her on her eating schedule, because when we get back, all she wants to do is every couple hours, she's following around the kitchen like, okay, are you going to give me a treat? You going to give me something to eat? And we're like, no, so, but he'll take care of her. So we're good with that. So anyways, all right, let's go ahead. It's almost 5 after. So I'm going to turn the camera down. Let's go ahead and get started. And this is being recorded. So if somebody happens to miss it or you want to watch it, then you can just come back and watch the replay. All right, so we're going to do a masking technique. So there's a couple of things that you may want to have if you don't have in your crafting studio or room or whatever, is our masking. It's called masking paper, and there are 12 sheets, and I think, yeah, they're 5 by 7. Okay, so I know it's white. Let me hang on a minute, because I feel like my camera, I must have lowered it. Let me see if I can, go out. Whoops, I don't want to do that. Hang on. Let's try to go back in. All right, so the sheets are 5 by 7. And there's a crease down the center where you can peel the backing off, okay? So, and they're not that expensive. They are on, let me tell you what page they're on in case you're interested. And keep in mind, you've got a few more days for bonus, get bonus coupons. Let's see, these are on page, hold on, I've got it. Hang on, that's not what I want. I want this one right here. It's on page 151, masking paper at $7. So you get 12 of the adhesive sheets for $7 for 12 sheets, page 151, and it's called masking paper. I had the hardest time trying to find this in the catalog, which is crazy. Okay, so, and it's good for anytime you want to cover up something. We're going to do another technique in a couple weeks where you can put something behind something, and you'll use a masking technique to do that as well. And then the other thing, and I used this not too long ago, and one of the things that we were doing is if you don't have the embossing buddy, it's called the Embossing Edition Toolkit, which is this thing right here. I highly encourage you to get this. It comes with the embossing buddy. It comes with the tweezers, so you can hold it when you're heat embossing, so you don't get your fingers burnt. And then it has a little brush to brush off any specks that you have that you don't want to get heat embossed. And let's see, I think that's it. Tweezers, the small brush, and then of course what they call the powder pail where you pour everything in here. But we're going to use this for our masking paper. And what we're going to do is to keep it from being really, really sticky, because we don't want it to tear when we pull off our masking paper. So all I do is take the embossing buddy and I kind of bounce it around in there to get some powder down. And then I'll show you what we're going to do when we get ready to do the masking part of it. So I'm going to set this off to the side for just a minute. I'm going to move my catalog. So the masking paper is on the Embossing Editions Toolkit is on page 136, and it runs $27, but honestly, it's worth it if you do any type of heat embossing and you want to pour stuff in. You don't want glitter or embossing powder to go everywhere. This is a great thing because this tool kind of keeps it, it holds it in here. It's got this thing here that you can dump it right back into your container. Let me get it back in the camera right here. This thing comes off, it's got a hole, and then you can just brush it right down in there, put it right back in your container, okay? All right, so those are the two items that I recommend that you might want to have. Well, obviously, if you're going to do the masking technique, you have to have masking paper. Okay, so I'm going to show you the card that we're going to make today, and then I'm going to show you a couple after we get done of what I did, and I'm going to show you the first one because it's really, you got to have the right stamps to do it, and I don't have a lot of, this is the one that we're going to make, okay? I don't have a lot of stamps to put in here that are floral like this, so I had to go into my retired stamps. But this tends to work really nice if you do floral. So this is if you're looking outside and you see, you know, you've got a bunch of bushes or flowers hanging around your window, right? So that's the whole idea of this. So we're gonna make this one. I will show you when we get done. I'll show you the first one I did, which looks like you know what. And then I did two others, which I don't think they're bad. So it's really, however you want to do, whatever the scene is that you want to show. Now it can be an outdoor scene, which is what I've done one, and then the other one I did an inside scene. So I'll show you those when we get done, and I'll show you my first one, so you'll see that it does take, you know, and I don't have the brain, obviously, to come up with ideas and stuff, so it took me a little time to get it straight. So. All right, and the other thing that you're going to need is, I should have showed, is our blending brushes. And we have the large size and then we have the small size. So that's to get our blending done as far as like if you want a scene, like an outdoor scene with the sun and the clouds, okay? So and then you want some scratch paper so you can put your blending brushes off. So this is using the Azure, I'm not sure if that's how you pronounce it, Azure Afternoon. We're going to use that color cardstock and the ink. And then I'm using Daffodil Delight for the ink for our sun, okay? Now, the white piece is, and I'm going to show you how to do this. Let me grab my extra white piece. I'm going to tape it down so you can see. You're going to do a piece that's 3 3/4 by 5 is your white piece, okay? Let me make sure I've got this this is cut correctly. Yep, 3 3/4 by 5, okay? So that's the piece that we're going to work with. That piece looks kind of crooked. Let me grab another one. I've got one here that's already taped down, but I want to show you how to tape it. Hang on a minute. I'm sorry to stick my head right there. I think my, let me get my camera. Can y'all see everything? Let me move this up some. All right, let's see, what is this one? This is it for. All right, let me cut it down. This way I know I've got the exact piece. All right, so it's going to be 3 3/4 by 5. So let's cut that down to 5 inches. The other one looked a little crooked. Maybe it was me. Okay. All right, now on your masking paper, you need to cut 4 1/2-inch pieces. Now I just did the length of the paper because I want to, oh, there's my paper right there, it's hiding. I want to have enough so that I can hold it down so it doesn't move, because you want to make sure this piece doesn't move when you start blending, okay? And however y'all want to do that, so let me put this up here. So you need 4 1/2-inch strips, and I just did the whole length. So I'm going to peel these off, and then I'll show you what we're going to do as far when it comes to the measuring piece of it. Now this one happens to have the centerpiece So I can actually pull this one off, which is easy to do. Hang on a minute. And then what we're going to do is I'm going to take my powder thing, and I'm just going to take, this is the sticky, I'm going to lay it in here, and I think we did this before. We just want to lay it on the powder to take some of the stickiness off, because we don't want this to pull our cardstock when we go to remove it, right? So this is a 1/2 inch, so I'm just going to line this up on the edge, right at the edge of my cardstock. All right, so I'm going to line it up right on the edge, and we're going to do this on all 4, so you need 4 of these, because we're going to do all 2 sides and the top and the front, the top and the bottom, okay? Whoops, I'm missing my paper. And then I'll tell you what size we need for the, to make the window piece. Those are going to be a 1/4 inch. You need 2 of those. And give me a minute, because it's going to take me a little bit of time to try to get the stuff off of here. So again, I'm just going to line this up on the side of my paper, and this is the 1/2 inch. Oops, I got to put it in my paper thing. Let me put it right here. Forgot. See, I get confused. Sometimes I forget, and I'm like, I don't want to rip my paper when I'm trying to pull it off when we're done. So let's do that. All right, now we'll put it down here. Okay, so I'm going to lay this around the edges. I already have one made, but I wanted to show you how we do this so that you get a better, it's easier if you watch it, at least for me it is, to watch what needs to be done. And then this, if you leave it longer, will help you, hang on a minute, will help you keep it taut onto your paper so it doesn't move. Hang on a second, I got to keep moving it. All right, so that's what we're going to do there, okay? Now we've got to do our sides. And you can cut these down, but I just left them that way, so that's how I'm just going to use them that way. All right, and then this is the, we're going to do the bottom and the top, same thing. We want to get our paper in here so that we don't have a lot of stickiness. And then this one, we're going to do the same. We're just going to line it up at the edge of the paper. And then we've got one more piece. And let's see if we can get this one to come off pretty easily. Sometimes it's a little tricky trying to pull it off because you don't have the center part to take it off. So you just have to keep bending it. I thought that the take your pick tool might work, but it may, I don't know. It just, see, so it's going to be, it's not going to cooperate with me. Let me flip it this way. See if I can get it to go. Hang on. This is the part, there we go. All right, so I'm going to take this piece here. All right, so we're going to, again, I got some powder in there, so I just want to rub it against the powder, take some of that stickiness off. All right, so this one we're going to place at the top. Let me stand up so I can see, and we're going to lay it right there. That should be my my 1/2 inch. Okay. Now you need 2 1/4 inch strips. So these are obviously much smaller. Oops, get that there so it holds. And we're going to take these and we're going to make the crisscross of the window, okay? So this one, all right, now what I've done is I've taken my ruler. So this is 3, and we're going to put this in the powder thing. All right, so the 3 3/4 is, we're going to do half of that, so that's going to be 1 7/8, right? So I'm going to line the ruler up right at the edge of the cardstock. So my 1 7/8 is going to be that one line just before you get to the 2. So that's where I'm going to place my first strip. Okay, so that's 1 7/8. And I'm going to place that right here. And then I'm just going to bring it down and place it right there. All right, so that's going to be that. All right, now this side, it's 5 inches, right? So I'm going to line that up against the end. So 1/2 of 5 is, math class, 2 1/2. So we're going to mark this one at 2 1/2, and that gives us an even window, if you will, okay? So this is how you're going to make your window. Now you can do an outdoor scene or you can do an indoor scene, and I'll show you both of what I did. Let me throw that away. All right, and then again, we're going to get our dust from our embossing buddy and just get a little bit on here so that we don't rip our cardstock when we get ready to take it off. But there's enough to hold it down. So, all right, so now I need to put this at 2 1/2, right? So 2 1/2 is right there, so I'm going to put it right there, and we're going to lock him down. All right, so how's that? So that's what we got to do. All right, now, since we are going to make a an outdoor scene, I'll put the card right here. We're going to do our the sun first, and then we'll go around the outside of the sun and try to stay away from the yellow, because obviously we put blue and yellow together. What do we get? I think we get green, right? So, all right, so everything is tapped down. I've got it where I want it. It's holding down here. So I'm just going to take my daffodil. I'm going to bring in my sheet so I don't mess up my other sheet. And I'm just going to take a little bit off. And then I'm just going to start coloring or blending in the center of my card. And you can make your sun as light, as dark, or as big, as small as you want, right? So I want it to have a little darkness in the center, and then we'll come out with a little lighter shade. So we'll just do we'll do one more little swoopy doopy here and get a little bit darker. And then we'll just come around on the sides just to make it a little bit bigger. All right, so there's going to be our sun. Let's come down here and get a little bit more here. All right, so that's our sun. And this is pretty easy, actually. I think the biggest challenge is trying to figure out what you're going to put inside your windows, right? All right, so we're done with the daffodil. Now we're going to come in with a sewer, however you say it, afternoon. I really would like to know how you pronounce that. Okay, so we're going to come in with this one. And now we're going to do all over. So again, when you're blending, you want to come off here a little bit because you don't want to have a big blob when you come on and start your blending, right? So we're just going to come over here and start blending to make our sky. And I'm just going to keep going around until I get the shade that I want, trying to stay as much as I can without getting close to my sun. And we'll come back and start again. And again, I want to have this a little bit darker, so I'm going to have to come back a couple of times. Now I'm going the reverse direction just because I can get the ink to come off that way. Now see, I've got a little splodge there from where I didn't pound it before not as much, before I took it off. So you always want to start off and then go in. All right, and then we're going to go reverse this way so I can get the ink off this side of the brush. So I always go to the right and then back to the left, and that helps to get the ink off. And then I want this a little bit darker, so I'm going to pat again, because again, I don't want that little splotch there showing. So I'm going to try to blend this away. All right, and let's see. What do we think? Do we not want a little darker? Let's go let's try to do one a little bit more. So I'm going to just pound that off a little bit, and let's just do a little bit more. All right, and now this card is going to be easy because we're using, I'm going to leave it like that. All right, now we're going to come in with our leaves, and I'm using retired stuff because I don't normally order stamps that have a lot of leaves and stuff in them. So I am using the leaves from Painted Seasons in Eden's Garden, because I don't have, actually the stamps that I have that are not retired, I think there's only one that has one leaf or one twig, and that wasn't working. So I had to go dig through and these are all retired wood for sale on my Etsy store. So anyways, and we're just going to use basic Memento Black is all I'm going to do. So we're going to take, and once you get this part down and then you get your design down, then it's pretty easy. So I'm going to start with this leafy one here. And I did ink this up, so this may come up a little bit darker, but that's okay. And then just determine how you want it. Okay, so I'm just going to place him here. All right. And then I need to clean that one off. And then we're going to come back with this guy. Let me see where I want him. I put him down here. All right, so we've got that one. And again, these are supposed to look like, in my opinion, is like you're looking out the window and you've got some bushes or flower. If you have flowers. If you have something that you can do that's got some small flowers on it, that would look nice as well. I'm just doing the leaves and the fauna or whatever you want to call it because I think that's all I have. So that's what we're gonna do. I couldn't find something small enough with the flowers. All right, and then this guy is the little wispy guy. So I'm gonna do just like I did there. I'm gonna do two of them. So I'm just gonna have them coming down this way, and I'm gonna put one here. And then I'm going to re-ink it, and then I'm going to put one a little bit off this way. That kind of adds up to that window. And then the next thing we'll do is we have this other little leaf here, and this is from the Eden's Garden one. It's got the little berries on it. So we'll just do, we'll do two of these, And again, I'm just going to place them wherever I want them, and then I'll put one back over here. Okay, so that's all I'm doing on the set. So now we're going to peel off. Let me close up the ink. Now we're going to peel off the our tape, and this is where you want to be careful. Even though we put our powder on it, we want to be careful that it doesn't rip. So we're just going to pull these pieces off. All right, so see it, you just want to be careful when you're pulling it. Just gently, pull it off. And it might feel a little tight, but that's okay. So just kind of pull it, and you see how it's making our mask here. So we'll pull this again, and that's where the embossing powder tray comes in handy, because it keeps it from sticking to your cardstock. Okay. All right, so we've got that. All right, and see how we've stamped off, but now we have our window, and there's our window. Now you can make the 1/2 inch if you don't want your window to be this wide. You can make it smaller, or if you want to have 6 windows, then you could just put this, divide it. If you do a 1/2 inch here, then just divide your squares into 3, and then you can do have 6 windows, right? All right, so there's that. And then the next thing we'll do is I'm going to stamp, if I can get the things off, I'm going to stamp, I guess I do need this black, don't I? I'm going to stamp the sentiment. I'm going to stamp it now before I lay it down. So this one, it's just like I did here. I just put let's celebrate. So we'll come in and stamp. I'll stamp it right here on this side. I guess I could. Let's put it in the center. Why not? I don't know. What do you think? Let's go in the corner. All right, so we're going to place this right about here. All right. You can tell I inked that thing up, huh? All right. So now, and again, we're keeping it simple. So this is good if you're, well, I don't know about if you're just starting out, but it is an easy card to make. So now we're going to take our card. Oh, guess what? I didn't get my cardstock. That would help, wouldn't it? I thought I'd cut a piece. Hang on a second. Let me grab it. Oh, where'd you go? I thought I had cut a piece and had it ready to roll. Well, I guess I saw the one that I was using and didn't realize I hadn't cut my piece. So that's all right. So we're going to cut this at 8.5 by 5.5, right? So we're just going to slide this little guy in here, get him up at 5.5, and we'll cut, and then we'll turn it and then score this at 4 1/4, right? So whoops, we don't want a paper trimmer, so we want to score at 4 1/4. And now we have our cardstock ready. I don't know what I was thinking. And make sure, like this one's a little cattywampus. Now sometimes I find if I flip it the other way, it lays better. And actually this one, I think it laid better the other way. So let's go ahead and, hang on a minute. Let me get it so I can use my bone folder. This is where you can manipulate it to make sure your sides and everything are nice and flat and even. So you can see a little bit here. So we're just gonna go over that with our bone folder, and we'll do the other side. And then we're just gonna take this, I'm just gonna glue it down. So it's a very, very simple card. And then I'll show you the other ones that I created. And then you can tell me, and if you make one, share it. I'd like to see what you come up with, because, we all help each other with the ideas, right? I want to see what you put in your windows. All right, so that's all we have to do. There you go. I mean, it's really, once you get it down, it's a pretty easy thing to do. Isn't that pretty? All right, now let me show you the other ones. Now, this is the first one, and I have to show you this because I want you to see that I didn't know what I was doing, so I had to figure out, what I could do to make it work. So I thought, well, let me do a beach scene with the little turtle, like he's coming out of the water, or going towards the water, and this is it. And that's pitiful looking. I just thought, no, that's not working. I don't like it. That's ugly. So I wanted to show you what that one looks like, which is pitiful. Then I thought, okay, well, let me use the Zany Zoo set. So I did that, and I put this on, what is it, wild wheat and Old Olive, and I know they're weird colors, but I kind of wanted to look outside like it's somebody's birthday and all these animals came to wish them a happy birthday. That was kind of my thought process through that. So I have the raccoon, which I looked online, and they look like they're black with like brown. They're blue, they're brown and black kind of. So I kind of tried, anyways, the coloring looks horrible, but that's here nor there. And then we've got our skunk, and our turtle is singing, and then of course this guy's bringing his balloons. So I thought that was kind of neat. And then I realized when I first did it, I'm showing you what I did and what not to do, is I did the blue because they're outside, and then I realized, oh my gosh, they look like they're floating in the air. So I needed to come down. So I tried to add some green here. So next time I will actually make grass, make it look like it's grass that they're standing on, these two and this guy. But again, you know, live and learn, right? So I thought that one turned out pretty good. And then I used some of our jute twine. So that's just another idea. And then the other one I came up with is I wanted to do an somebody looking, I like the turtle one. Oh, well, thank you. I wanted to do one like you're looking in somebody's house. And so I did a Christmas one. And this is using trimming the tree, which is retired. So I stamped the tree, and I tried to put some little packages down at the bottom. And my idea was to try to make beige like the walls were beige, but I wanted to have some yellow up here to make it look like light was shining down. And there's all sorts of things you can do. If you want to do an indoor one, I was just thinking like you could put like a chair from our we got our Lazy Day stamp set. We could probably put a little chair in there, or at least that little table. You put that off to the side, and there's other ideas that you can come up with. But this is one that I thought would look nice if you're looking into somebody's window or at night, and you see the light shining and the Christmas tree with the packages underneath. So that's the ones that I came up with. But I really like this one with the fauna. So I think this is a nice one that's easy to do. And this one's cute. If I just had grounded them more, I think that would be fine. But actually, when you think about it and you send it to somebody, they're not going to have a clue. They're just going to go, oh, they're going to ooh and all over it and go, oh my gosh, those are so cute. But that's how you make the window. So what do y'all think about that? Pretty nifty, huh? Okay, so this didn't take that long, but I wanted to show you this technique, and we'll be doing another technique. I think it's, I'll have to put it out on the thing. It's in my newsletter, and it's in my phone, so I don't have my calendar. I want to say it's maybe the 10th, but don't hold me to that. So if you make some of these window cards, why don't you post them in the VIP group, and let's see what everybody has created, and that will also give us other ideas. What do y'all think? I think that's a good idea. Now, just remember, your first one may look like this, and you'll put that one aside and go, nope, got to figure out what else to do. So there you go. All right, so thank you so much for taking a little bit of time out of your afternoon and during your lunch hour to watch me create the window scene. So come back. I'll see you all, what is today? Thursday, so it'll be Tuesday evening. We'll be doing another Facebook Live with some more fun folds. All right, everyone, thanks again. I appreciate you all watching, and don't forget bonus days is still on until the end of the month. And you'll get your $5 coupon emailed to you. And give this a try and let me know what you think. All right, everyone, thanks again, and I will see you next week.